What asset can you invest in to get thousands of times the return? Bitcoin can, from the initial $0.001 to $69,000, creating the most amazing reporting ratio in human history. Welcome to the digital currency market, where there is no limit on the rise and fall. The price of idle coins often fluctuates easily 10% or even 30%. Superimposed leverage operation triggered the imagination of wealth. If you love a person, send this person to speculate in digital currency. It is easy to get rich overnight. If you hate a person, send this person to invest in digital currency. It is easy to be forced liquidation overnight. The wonderful party and dinner was in full swing on the evening of May the 9th, 2022. However, the critical support of Bitcoin, falling below $30,000 per coin, started to shatter many people's evening. At 8 p.m., Bitcoin's drop below $30,000 turned a fluke into misfortune for many. This price drop and the price fell 56% from its peak of $69,000 per coin. The entire digital trading market blew up to $4.31 million within an hour after that. Leveraged contracts were forced liquidation about $103 million in the past 24 hours on 5.9 across the web. A total of 543.73 million people were forced to liquidation. Is everything really inevitable? Is there no way to analyze Bitcoin price trend? What are the factors that influence Bitcoin price? Li Xiong, a veteran speculator, is used to such price plunges and liquidations. He always mutters, "Nothing is impossible, nothing should not be, don't try to figure out why. No reason is the biggest reason." Before trying to figure out the Bitcoin price trend, let's take a look at the current situation. Many detest Bitcoin, including US Federal Reserve officials, and other bigwigs. Even Warren Buffett do not believe in this nothingness. However, Bitcoin is slowly seeping into proletariats' lives. Nowadays, if someone doesn't have a digital wallet with a few digital currencies, it seems like they can't keep up with the millennials' trend. Now, let's take a look at how Bitcoin was first invented. The idea of Bitcoin was born in the midst of the 2008 financial crisis, leaving many people destitute. Distrust of banks and their role in the financial system grew. The consequences and conditions of the financial crisis deeply shook the Silicon Valley tech geek Satoshi Nakamoto, the father of Bitcoin. How do you create a system of issuing money that is not controlled by the governments and bourgeoisie, that is not subject to the intervention and influence of monopoly capital? On October the 31st, 2008 at 1810, Satoshi Nakamoto wrote in the crypto email community, "I have been working on a new electronic cash system that is completely peer-to-peer, with no trusted third parties." Finally, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, was officially unveiled to the American tech geek community, a day worth written in the history. The value of Bitcoin lies in faith. In over a decade, Bitcoin has gone from $0.001 at the beginning to a peak of $69,000. If you spent $100 on Bitcoin in 2008, by today you have hundreds of millions of dollars in assets, a multi-million-fold increase. This is the most amazing rate of return on investment in human history, or none. Behind the high value is trust and faith. The value of Bitcoin lies in the abandonment of centralized issuance, relying on the blockchain network to solve problems, such as double spending and common ledger that existed in the past with electronic currencies, generated by mining, and relying on all of the world's networks to operate. The total number of 21 million has been the basis of Bitcoin price analysis. The limited quantity is the reason why the price is rising, and the reason why Bitcoin will rise to $1 million in per coin in support. And of course, it is also the reason to console yourself when the price falls. The price of Bitcoin started out by relying on electronic network transfers between individuals, and it is surprising that this barter-like feature also played a leading role in the early stages of the digital currency. Without a middleman such as central bank or commercial bank, the price of Bitcoin began to rise from a few percent to tens of dollars. Born in the midst of the financial crisis, Bitcoin seems to have the same safe haven properties as gold. With the frequent black swan events of the Ukraine crisis, and the Swiss franc crisis, and the UK's exit from the European Union, people gradually discovered that Bitcoin was following gold up in the crisis, so Bitcoin, also called digital gold, linked to gold, to play a safe haven properties of this analysis, once became the credo of many new cryptocurrency investors. However, with the occurrence of the Russia-Ukraine war on February the 24th, 2022, Bitcoin not only did not rise, but also accelerated the decline, so that the hedge set is ashamed and disgraced. 2018 was a pivotal year. In the year, Trump started a trade war against China, which undoubtedly affected the profit of a large number of people. The wealthy in the US are increasingly anxious. While Trump gave tax deduction to the wealthy at that year, Wall Street and Silicon Valley form a consensus that it was possible to allocate a portion of Bitcoin as one of their asset portfolios, consensus on the basis of which Bitcoin was born. There are many reasons why wealthy Americans invest in digital currencies. The point is not tax avoidance and asset diversification. Instead, the main purpose is perhaps privacy. In any case, it is from this year that many wealthy Americans were conquered by Bitcoin, some of whom own as many as 50,000 Bitcoins. Assets management is to be another factor in Bitcoin price analysis, and this factor was always emphasized when the price of Bitcoin become instable. However, it seems like an impossible thing if a wealthy person happens to buy at $60,000 plus holdings to the current $30,000 apiece. The reason is that the wealthier the person, the more solid the return they seek. Therefore, if you were a rookie in cryptocurrency investment, stop using assets management to become an excuse of your losing positions. Bitcoin's price go up from $5,000 to $69,000. Many people analyze the reason for this currency's crazy rise, and point out that it is a future of the currency. Bitcoin as the future has been proven to be right. Every time Bitcoin breaks through the previous high in history, especially when IT rises to a historically unprecedented close to $70,000, folks say this is the future of digital currency. Future theory also made a bunch of junk coins on fire. For example, Musk's tweeted a message about Dogecoin, which rose from 3 cents to 73 cents. Many people found application for Dogecoin and analyzed the rising reason of the currency. In any case, an asset, which fell from nearly 70,000 and lost 56%, made it hard for people to believe that it is because of future theory. There are a number of ways to analyze the Bitcoin. Some analysts say that they want to analyze it with US economic data. However, US economic data has little to do with cryptocurrencies. There are also some analysis methods that go from total open positions, total contracts, etc., but none of them really work well. So if anyone says these methods are 100% correct, please be mindful. Of course, it still has a certain degree of reliability by using CME futures and spot price trend analysis and position data analysis, but for digital currencies, it is hard to sustain since it has at least 30% volatility. On May the 11th, 2022, the price of Bitcoin is up and down in around 30,000 USDT. Multiple analysis pointed out that the support line is 20,000 and 15,000 USDT. Such nonsense is very common and mostly seen, and the price rose sharply to a high or the price fell to a low. The identification of high and low point is from the starting point up to 30% or even 50%. Also, it is common that the market critics judge about the famous or analysis. The reason is most critics provide free comments, so they won't be punished if they said anything wrong. Conversely, if their guessing is correct, they can brag about it for a long while. Li Xiang know more about those guys, so does Michael Saylor, who is founder and CEO of MicroStrategy and owns 129,000 Bitcoins. The veteran of cryptocurrency investment are already in the midst of a quiet rearrangement. To summarize, it is difficult to analyze Bitcoin price trend. The methods of analysis such as issue value, limit, hedge, asset future and futures methods seem to be flying blind and unable to determine. However, there is an ancient Chinese philosophical wisdom that may be effective for determining Bitcoin trend. What it is using the game methodology to analyze Bitcoin, and everything will be clear. Just as the old saying goes, a cryptocurrency world, just like a game and just like a dream.